I hope everyone's all dressed and prepared to get a little sweaty and warmed up. Sure. Before we give away the identity of our guest today. Right. I hope everyone's got a little bit of space. We will need to move around the room a little bit. Plan for the day is. So just make sure you've got a little bit of space in the room that you can stand up, walk around, do a few stretches. If you have enough space to sort of walk in a passage, you can do these while walking. We're just going to start off with a few simple stretches and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so first step, small step forward, keep both legs straight, just stand back, the next foot forward, bend down, reach as low as you can, but you don't need to hold the pose or give any jerks, and just keep moving, keep stepping forward. If you don't have space, you want to stay on one spot, you can just alternate a step on the spot, reach, and come on up. We're just doing 5 on each leg. Very easy. Okay, for the next one, we're going to make a small change. You now bend the back leg, you pull the front toes up, and you do a sweeping action. Very slight change, bend the back leg you're stretching, you pull the toe up, sweep, and stand. Again, we're just doing 5 on the left leg and 5 on the right. Okay, super. Now we're going to lift the leg up. Again, similarly, stretching the same muscles at the back of your leg on your hamstring. You're going to reach forward, try and touch the toe if you can, and take small steps. You can move forward, you can move backwards, you can stay on the spot. Slowly, with each repetition, try and increase that range. Go a little higher. We're not getting jerks, just moving dynamically without giving any harsh jerks to the legs of the body. Very smooth. Keep moving. Okay. Hamstring's done. Let's pull the toes out now. We're going to point the toes down, pull it up. That's all we're doing. We're not rotating. Just point down and pull them up towards the feet. We do that 10 times. The ankle working. And let's switch side. Okay, so from here we're going to work the hips now. We've done these. I want you to imagine you're going over a hurdle. So you're going to lift up the leg, roll in, and drop down. Again, lift up, roll as if you're stepping over something, and drop down. You can step forward while doing this. Again, like I said, you can just cover some ground, move forward. Okay. Let's switch. We now start in the front, roll out, drop, start in the front, roll out, and drop. Let's take it forward. We're now going to do is we're going to take a nice long step, stretch the back leg. We're not doing a lunge, just push the hip down till you feel a stretch in the hip. Same leg comes up, find your balance, stretch up to your chest, drop it down. Take the other leg behind, stretch your hip again, lift up, pull, and drop it down. Move slow, stay balanced, quick stretch, lift up, and relax. Keep going. Once you feel comfortable, you can slowly increase the pace, take it forward. Okay. Let's take it forward. I want you to move with your arms down. All we're going to do is imagine you're sprinting on the squat. So I want you to swing your arms, lift one elbow up, really exaggerate that movement, and slowly increase the pace. Go faster and faster. Open up those shoulders and chest. Keep going. And it's how fast you can go. And slow it down. Now take your arms out straight. Left arm rolls forward. Right arm rolls back as if you're wringing a wet towel to make it dry. And then change, go the other way. And keep moving. Now you reach out to the side that's pointing back. So, okay, first one that we're going to have with a little bit more intensity now is we'll either do a squat jog, those who can do a nice high knee march here, or even running high knees. We're going to do this for 20 seconds only, and then you get 10 seconds of rest, okay? Hope everyone's ready. If you are, just give me a thumbs up. A lot of videos off. Okay, great. Ready? Let's go. Get moving. Three, two, one, and relax. Okay, great. From there, we're going to get to a wall and try and do a wall squat hold. Now, you want to need support, you can use your arms to make it a little easier. If not, take your arms off. Try to get your legs at 90 degrees, okay? If you're ready, find a wall, step back towards it. Keep a little bit of distance in the feet. And let's go down. Hold this for another 20 seconds. Now, since this is not a very comfortable position, let's focus on having positive thoughts and hold that. 3, 2, 1. Okay, come on out really slowly. Stand back up. Get back to your mat. And what we will do is we're going to do a straight leg jog, just tapping your toes in the front. Swing your arms with you. Land the heel really softly when you do this. Don't land hard on the heels. The ball of the foot, the midfoot strikes the floor really softly. And you keep swinging your arms. 20 seconds again. Keep going. Like I said, if you have space in the room, you can move forward and backwards when you're doing this. And break. Right, we're going to do our high knees one more time. A little faster this time, okay? If you're ready, let's go a little faster and begin. Remember, if you've got some knee or ankle issues or pain, you could just go as fast as you want while marching here. Not an issue at all. Keep going. And relax. Take your legs off. Let's get back to the wall. Get ready. Back to that wall squat hold or that wall sit. Only 20 seconds, okay? 3, 2, 1. Get down. Begin. Try and keep your whole back on the wall. Try not to slouch forward. Stay back. Ideally, keep your hands off. 10 seconds more. Okay, and slowly come on up. One last bit, our straight leg jog, focusing on a nice soft landing in the front. Ready? Go. Swing your arm with you. Keep moving. Try not to bend the knees here. You can go as slowly as you want, but land soft. And relax. Okay. All we're going to do is we're just going to bend forward for 30 seconds. And just relax here. Hold your arms. And just focus on some nice deep inhales and exhales. And slowly come on up. Great, super. Now that we're all energized and woken up, let's get to the next bit.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Katie. Thank you so much. So let's begin. Welcome everybody to Smit.fit Friday number 39. So happy to see you all here, and a special appreciation for Meena ma'am, who has come here. This is her introduction to Smit.fit, and we are so happy to see you here, ma'am. Welcome to Smit.fit. Hello. And all the other Smit.fit family members and participants as well. So let's begin. So today we have a special guest here. People call him mad, and he loves it. He loves to do things that people don't do, and he loves to do them differently. So he has set several records. He is a fitness enthusiast. He loves basketball, and he said that it is his first love. So today we are going to witness a part of his journey, beginning from the basketball court right till Leh and Ladakh. So this is Mr. Ashish Kasodekar that we have here today, with so many of his records, and he's going to tell us stories of his success as well as a few failures and how he has handled them. How he has handled them medically, how he has handled them with a correct mindset and a correct temperament, because he believes that this is the way to live, focus and having a positive attitude every time. So I warmly welcome you here, Ashish sir, and we would love to hear from you, your journey, and how you have set all of these records. You are known to make special dates even more special. So we would love to make this day special for all the Smitfitters with you with us. Thank you so much. Over to you, Katie. Yes, Ashish sir.
Thank you, Rudrakshi.
Right.
Absolutely.
So Ashish, we'd like to begin with just finding out what got you into these adventure and extreme outdoor sports. Yeah, so you've run, say, 333 kilometers at the La Ultra in Ladakh, for example, right? So what's this journey? How did you get into this from, say, playing basketball earlier?
Actually, good evening, everybody, and good to see everybody is all charged up and warmed up well, and listening to my stories, and I just love that. There was a nice introduction by Rudrakshi. She said it very rightly that I always love when people call me mad. But you have to be mad about your passion, and then it works well. Because when people call you mad, that means you're on the right track. You're doing something good for yourself. Otherwise, people won't talk about you. If you're not doing anything, then nobody will talk about you. So people will talk about you. That means you're doing something good for yourself. Okay. So now, Kaustubh, about your question. It's not a very long journey about running, Basketball, yes, from childhood, I am a basketball player. From school days, college days, I was into basketball. In 2008 or 9, there's an event called Enduro, which happens in Pune. Enduro was the only event that time, which was part of like it's a team of 3 people. Hello? Okay, it's a team of 3 people, 2 boys and 1 girl. And you have to do cycling, you have to find your own route, you have to go trekking, to do cycling. There are a lot of activities. And that's where I learned to, how to push yourself, to keep yourself awake and to push yourself, get people together. Like basketball always taught me about getting people together, but it was a different game. Basketball taught me different things. But Enduro taught me how to get my members together and we come to the finish line. If somebody is weak, how do I push him? If I'm weak, then how the other members are pushing me? If there's a girl member, how do we get her with us? And then we come to the finish line. So that really gave me a punch in my activities. And I said, this looks very attractive. I must get into this. And then slowly, I did my first run was in 2013, where I ran 15 kilometers with PRBM, the Pune Running Beyond Myself. And that 15 kilometers gave me a lot of happiness because running is the only event where everybody who comes to the finish line gets a medal. No other event has that facility. So you get that medal. There is plenty of people there. There is Zumba warm-up session. There are a lot of pretty girls around. There are a lot of attractions. And I said, this is really nice. I must get into this. And when I did 15, and then I wanted to do 21, then I did my for half marathon in Mumbai. And Mumbai has a different spirit completely. So I saw people doing 42 kilometers. Then I wanted to do 42. So that's how the journey started off adventure, like into individual sports. So from 15 kilometers now till today, I've been running. So that's how it started.
Super. So it's been a process, of course. So now, if we were to say talk about some individual incidents or races, right? I think one of the ones that really stands out is the one that I just mentioned, the La Ultra in Ladakh, which I believe is an ultra marathon. So anything beyond 42 is an ultra marathon. It starts from 55 and goes up, I think, all the way to 555 kilometers. And a memorable one, I think, was probably the 333 kilometers that you did, right? Where and well, I think I'd let you talk about what happened there and how you took it and what I went on.
Oh, now we're talking directly about triple three, but all my runs are memorable. Like I remember every run of mine. Like I remember 15 kilometers and then 21, 42, everything, because every run has played some role in my life and it's taught me something. Triple three was definitely a different affair completely because triple three, basically, I'll just quickly explain you what exactly LALTRA is all about. LALTRA is an organization which organizes events in Ladakh, and they have a distance of 111, 222, 333, and 555. So 111 was the first run which I did with them, 111 kilometers, and you have 20 hours to finish, 14 hours to finish that. So triple went off well. What happens in Ladakh is the challenges is not the distance, it is the temperature variation, 50% oxygen. Then those climbs, you start at 10,000 feet, you go up to 18,000, you come down to 11 and finish. So all those different factors makes it really cruel marathon. So I did 111. I waited for the finish of other members, like there were participants for 333 and 222. So at the function, the organizer kept saying that 111 is a baby run. And I was very happy that I've done 111 kilometers and he's saying it's a baby run. I said, this can't be baby run, man. I've done 111 kilometers. But he kept on saying that. So I took up a challenge that I must come here to do 333 kilometers. Instead of doing 222, I directly jumped from 111 to 333. So organizers were not really very happy with that decision, but they said you need to do some qualification, whatever they wanted me to do. I did that. I completed a few runs, and then I was there as a participant of 333 kilometers. We were the first Indians to participate that year because so far only the Goras were there for that event, and they were the finishers. 10 people had finished that race so far, and 5 members were there for 333 kilometers. It was a big challenge because we started from Nubra Valley. People who've been to Ladakh probably can relate. We start from Nubra Valley, then we go up to Khardungla Pass, we come down to Leh, then we climb Warila Pass, we come down to Leh again, that's 10,000. Then we climb Tanglangala Pass, which is 17 and a half. And then we finish at Debring, which is 15,000 feet. So that's the itinerary for the 333. At that particular time, I finished about 305 kilometers. I was at Tanglangla Pass, and there was a discussion about, after Ashish reaches at so and so time, he will be able to finish in time, or he may not be able to finish, whatever. But just all these things plays in your mind. I didn't stop that time. I didn't eat properly. I started from Tanglangla, and my finish was about 20 kilometers down at Debring. After a particular time, I must have run about 1.5 hours, and I felt that I've done a good amount of distance, but there were no signs anywhere about 5 kilometers to go, 2 kilometers to go. So I asked a volunteer how many kilometers to go, and he said 17 kilometers, which was the wrong information, of course, but that got stuck in my mind that there's something wrong because these volunteers they're making some story. And slowly my pace slowed down, and I said this got stuck in my mind that the organizers and my crew members, they've jammed up together and they want to have a special finish because this is the first time Indian participants are there for that race. And I stopped. I said, you guys are making fun of me because I'm here, I've got blisters on my feet and I'm running 330. I've already completed my race. Just to have a special finish, you guys are making me run. And believe me, I stopped at particular time. It was a tough time for my crew members because they had to play it emotionally also, and they had to push me. Doctors were telling them, if you push him at this particular time, then it can be dangerous because this can be a permanent affair. So we have to be very careful. This was all hallucination. I have not completed, but it was on my mind that I have completed 333 kilometers. Every time they used to tell me that, take this turn and then there's a finish. So I continued. And one particular point I stopped completely. I said, I'm not going to run now. And that particular time, if I had to get into the vehicle, everything would have been over. After doing 332 kilometers, if I had to get into the vehicle, it would have been disastrous. I stopped. Luckily, there was organized this young boy and a New Zealand doctor called Craig and another roommate of mine. They all came with Indian flag and finished a ribbon. They said, Ashish, last turn now. You take this turn and then there's a finish. So I said, okay, new faces. I said, okay, now this is the final turn. I'm not going to run after that. And actually, there was a finish after that. So the cutoff was 72 hours, and I finished my race in 71 hours, 59 minutes, 31 seconds. So you can imagine just 29 seconds prior. So it was a crucial finish for that. And usually ultras, you don't have these kind of finishes, but that was the finish for 333.
That's a superb story. And so how does this sort of prep work for you, right? So you was talking about how you had to eat. So what is it like in terms of your regime, in terms of diet or sleep, like you were discussing how in the race it affected you? What does this look like for you also?
See, anything when you do a long distance journey, it is always about mind. But all the activities, whatever we do, small thing also, it is all about mind. So I strongly believe in mind. And now after doing the ultra marathons, I strongly believe in mind. Like our mind is so strong, we rarely use it because physically we give up, and mentally we are very strong. We can push ourselves to extreme levels. For 333, 555, when I registered, I had to work on my sleeping pattern. I had to work on my diet. All those things were there. I had to work on the comfort zone, like whatever irritates you. There was 2-3 things which I followed. Whatever irritates you, you must do it. Exercises has to be out of comfort zone. Like I did 100 kilometers every month. I used to do 100 kilometers, Pune to Pajwani. That was solo self-support. So when you do things solo self-support, it increases your mindset because you don't have anybody in front of you. I used to start at 6 p.m. in the evening and be there in the morning at Pajwani. So whole night I used to be on that road. I was so focused with my 333. This thing never came in my mind. Night time, what will happen if any car will, bag me or anybody will, whatever, take money from me or whatever. Anything can happen in the night. And people used to look at me like mad because one person on the road with head torch and all, and he's running on the highway. So it was a weird thing, but all those things never bothered me because I was focused about triple. Diet plays a very, very important role, especially when you register for an event. Normally, on a day-to-day life, I always have maa ka khana. Like I'm a bachelor, so for me it is maa ki yaad ki roti, and that is very, very important. You have to have meals on time. Maharashtrian food has everything. Rather, all Indian food has everything. Like we have carbs, we have protein, we get everything. But eating on time is very, very important. But when I register for an event, then my diet changes. Swati is here. Swati always helps me whenever I register for an event, and she's there to, Ashish, you must add this, you must don't do this, don't do that, whatever. Then I follow her diet, which is the best thing about Swati is she doesn't change your diet drastically. Whatever is available to you, she just add a few more things, which will make things easier for you. So the diet plays a very important role. For mindset, like I said, I used to do Sinhagar in the afternoon time. At 12:30, 1 o'clock, I used to do Sinhagar. I'll tell you a small story on that. You know how the community is built with when you're focused about your activity. I used to go to Sinhagar at say 11:30, 12. The first time when I went there was a watchman there, and he looked at me when I was going up. He said, "You come to Sinhagar, you're going up by road. It's a good thing. It's a good exercise. But if you come in the morning, it's a nice affair. There's a good weather." I told him, "No, I like it in the afternoon only." So he looked at me and said, "Arey, pagal aadmi hai." So I went up, I came down. Next Thursday, I went again. So he looked at me and he said, "Arey, ye wapas aa gaya." So, he saw me 4, 5 Sundays, but then slowly started waving out to me. There was in his mind that, ye pagal hai, but ye disciplined pagal hai. So, he is trying to do things, he has something to look forward to. So he became a friend. So then he started asking me if I need anything, if there's a parking vehicle. Shiv Jayanti, he offered me better parking. So there were a lot of things. So, that's how the community is built when you're focused about things.
Right. And I'm sure this community participation and this sort of backup that people give you, as you're driven towards these goals, plays a huge role in keeping you motivated to keep going and looking for newer challenges for yourself as you do. Um, and I'm sure that there are more and more people that you have inspired also along the way. So could you talk about maybe how that has gone forward? The Siagat incident reminds me of maybe your Everesting story about how there's groups that support you, or even if you could tell us a little bit about simple steps that you organize.
Oh, yes. Simple Step is a fantastic activity. But community building, Kaustubh, the beauty is, I always say in all my interviews, I always say that I'm surrounded by good people in the world. And that happens only when you're focused about an activity, when you're doing some positive activity. So automatically the positive people are with you. There is a difference between listening and hearing. Now, if you keep listening to people, then you are ready to learn a lot of things. And that is what Himalaya has taught me. Because, when you're ready to accept things, whatever, because every small child can teaches you something new. So that happens only when you're ready to accept things. The moment you say that I'm the boss, then that's the end of it. So you have to keep listening to people and then try and explore new objectives. Similar way, the Everesting when I did, I had my last loop. Like I had to do 16 loops of Sinhagar, and for my last loop, there were about 40 kids who were with me climbing Sinhagar in the night at about 8 o'clock. And there was so much of positivity and happiness. Those kids were talking about, last loop, I'm doing it with Ashish Kaka. I'm also doing Everesting. So they were so happy and excited. It was a beauty. Similar case with my 555, how it went off and how many people were involved in it. And that's how I thought of Simple Steps. Simple Steps, we started in 5 years back. That particular time when I saw, the feel of accomplishment, if I can get them to children at a very, very young age, it will be fantastic because, that gives them a confidence. When anybody achieves the target, comes to the finish line, there is that feel of accomplishment and the confidence level increases. So we have an event, Simple Steps, for 2-year-old to 15-year-old. So you can imagine 2 and 3-year-old boys, they do 100 meters in the ground. They've just started walking, but they are running with a bib number. And then there's a finish line. They go to the finish line. Then 4 to 6 years kids, they do to 1.5 kilometers. Everything, whatever happens in a marathon, we follow that. There's a time chip for 1.5 kilometer kids also. They have a bib number. They come to the finish line. There's a refreshment for them. They show their medal and then they get a refreshment coupon. So it's simply amazing. And I just love organizing that event. And then the energy which comes from there, it keeps me inspired all the time.
Super. And I'm sure that, like you said, keeps you inspired and keeps you going towards achieving higher and bigger goals in your journeys. So, what was the experience with the 555 that you mentioned right now, right? How was it different, say, from your 333 kilometers when you did the next one?
There's a big difference between 333 and 555. Even though 555 was the cruelest, it was happening for the first time in the history of La Ultra. They announced it only because they were celebrating 10 years of their journey, and they announced 555. So it was happening for the first time. So even organizers were not sure whether this is humanly possible to do 555 kilometers in that particular terrain, to spend about 100 odd kilometers in the high altitude. The last 11 kilometers were crucial. But I was there as a participant. I went there only with the intention of, at least I will attempt it. So I won't regret myself. And regrets are not good in life because you can't do anything about it. You just have your sympathies. So I was there as a participant of 555. I learned a lot of things in 333, which we utilized in 555, like how much to eat, how much to sleep, how the power naps can take place, nutrition, how it should be. So all those things, whatever we learned in 333, we used in 555. The basic difference was 333 finish was 31 seconds prior, and 555 finish was 6 hours prior. So you can imagine the difference, the comfort level.
Great.
In 555, the crew was fantastic because we had learned everything from 333. I never got a single blister in those 5.5 days. I never had a single cramp. And I was absolutely fresh when I finished at the finish line. I could feel my finish. That was the best part. Another best part, like I said about positivity, about 555 is when I registered for the event, it was one person. It was my dream about doing an event. Okay. I got hold of my crew members, which are, of course, always my friend. My friends are my crew members. So it became a dream of 7 people. Okay. So 7 plus 1. So 8 people, it was their dream to do 555 kilometers. When I actually started my run, there were about 1,000 people, which I know. Indirectly, there were plenty of people across India, but directly, there are 1,000 people, which I know different groups they were in, WhatsApp groups. So those 5.5 days, there was positivity, there was happiness. And I said, if one person's dream can get happiness and positivity among 1,000 people, what else you want in life? That's the beauty of 555.
Super. And just this positive sort of push that you give each other, as a community when you're working toward the goal. I think all of us here at Smit.fit would also totally agree is that once you start taking these focused steps towards your own health and your own fitness, you start associating and sort of feeding off each other's energy to achieve these more positive goals, right? But what about days when you're not feeling as great? Do you ever have such days where it's just difficult to perform as you had planned, or something gets in the way? Um, you're just not feeling up to it as high, just maybe a little low. Do you have such days? What do you do on such, like, for example, we all have certain schedules we have planned. I do too. And then something like a lockdown sort of puts us off. You don't feel like doing your bit of exercise or following that little nutrition plan and sleep pattern that you had planned for yourself. What do you think happens, and how do you tackle it?
See, that happens with everybody because not every day is not charged up. Like there are always some days where you don't sleep well or you don't eat well or there's some work pressure. There are a lot of days that way which makes you a little setback. But that has to be temporary. You can't. When you're focused about the goal, uh, we will talk about this. When this thing happens, I take it easy. That particular day when I don't feel nice, I just take it easy. I just give myself free time and then I don't do anything. I don't go just push myself for no reason. But to overcome all these activities, your goal has to be focused because everybody has a dream that we have to protect our dream. And how do we protect our dream is to make a plan. It has to be supported by a goal, and then we should have a weekly goal, a daily goal, monthly goal, and then we have a long-term goal. So when you're focused about things, I will also there say that every person should spend at least 1 hour with himself. Very very important, because when you spend time with yourself, you're positive. Usually we can't say that I am bad, I can't do things. We don't say that way. We are positive when we are with ourselves, and we try to explore ourselves, we try to understand ourselves, and we get to know what is our passion, what is our what I like to do in life. And the moment you get to know what you want to do in life, you're focused. And when you're focused, the small things remain small, and we are charged up towards the goal. And then we want to do, at the end of the day, we feel nice about ourselves. When you go back to the bed, you feel, yes, I've done something. I'm looking forward to something. Weekly, I'm looking forward to something. There's my target, which I'm working towards it. So the goal is very, very important. And to keep that goal focused, we have to have small goals, like, daily goal, weekly goal. We must have small challenges also. How do we build the challenge approach, challenge attitude? If I say, if I brush my teeth by right hand, every day I do that, I will challenge myself. I say, let's 15 days, I will brush my teeth by left hand. Okay, it sounds stupid. And people say that, this is very easy. I can do it. It's easy also. Everything is easy, everything is difficult. It's all about doing it. But when you do it, after 3 days, automatically we use our right hand and we brush our teeth by right hand. So, and then we say, 15 days mein ek din to chalta hai, rest of the 14 days I'll do it. But then I feel, even if you lose one day, you must start again and then follow that for 15 days at least. That's how you build the challenges, like, how you accept challenges in life. That's why you can build your mental strength.
Right. So you're saying you just like you train for a ultra marathon with smaller training sessions that build up towards the bigger goal. That's
Absolutely.
exactly how you'd also challenge yourself mentally with smaller sort of challenges and goals that build up and
Yeah.
add up in the end. Huh?
Actually, Kaustubh, if you look at 555, it sounds, 550, how it is possible? It's not possible at all. Like when I heard about La Ultra, I was doing 42 kilometers, and my reaction was, how can somebody run so many kilometers? It's not possible. But then when I got into it, slowly, I know I was achieving step by step, simple steps. And then I could achieve that target. So life is very simple and beautiful. We just have to look at life from a very good angle and, go for it. Decision plays a very important role. Usually, we always talk about past or we talk about future. We rarely talk about today. If there's a topic, 50% of the people will talk about past. Hey, when I was in college, I used to do this. Our time was fantastic. Or 50% people will talk, let me get this payment, let me get this thing in hand, let me finish my project, and then I will do it. Very rarely people talk about today. So I think today is very, very important.
Superb. I think that's a great way to think about is looking into our present goal and what you can do for the day, and that will by itself build up as you move ahead. Right. My next question is, what is it with these dates, yeah? What is it with these special days that you do all these crazy events that you've planned, just like you did Everesting? What is the secret behind picking all these dates, like 2020,
Oh,
20?
there's
And
no secret. It's just that, in 2011, 11/11, it was a special date, 11/11/11. And there were a lot of messages which coming in, like, this is coming after 200 years and this will come after, this won't happen again, whatever. You get a lot of messages when there is something special. And I said to myself, if this is so special, then, the day will come and go. Then why not I make it special from my side? That's why I said, let's do something on a special day to celebrate that day. So I cycled from Pune to Goa to celebrate 11/11/11. To celebrate 12/12/12, we walked from Pune to Pashgani. That was the first walking itinerary we did. Then 11/12/13, I had my Harley that time. So I was a rider. And I did Burn Burner. So 36 hours, I had to do 2400 kilometers. And, I always like to do different things, like what Rakshi said. I don't party on 31st of December. I party on 1st of January. Because 31st December, whole world party. And I believe in a year. I said, I must celebrate in a year. Why to celebrate a day? So I celebrate 1st of January. So I try to do some activity on the 31st night. So similar way, these special dates gave me that kick, and from these special dates, what I was getting, just happiness. So that is very important. When every person, if look at doing some activity where if somebody asks you what you're going to get out of this is happiness, then it is true. That gives you a lot of mental strength because you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for happiness. That's how I celebrated all those special days.
I think that's a great takeaway, though, isn't it? That to find something that gives you something internally, such as joy and happiness, and to follow that activity with passion, though of course with dedication and having those goals in place, but just to have an activity that gives you joy from within yourself versus any external motivation can make such a huge difference in just how you're living. And I think a lot of times with sports also, you can very easily relate that quite easily. Is when you are so driven as an athlete, it's not, of course, we like to win and get a medal and a completion certificate or all of those things, but just the joy of being a part of it and through that journey of preparing and going through such an event, I'm sure is very rewarding. I'm sure there's a lot of people on others than us in this meeting here, I think, who also have certain sports background to relate to that. Amol, I'm sure you could connect to that from your swimming times also, right?
Yeah, I mean, I used to be a national level swimmer at one time from 87 to 94. I also did a little bit of triathlon, and this was when practically there was no. I mean, today there's a lot of things available for sports. You get the best equipment. You get, there's a lot of motivation. You get really nice, sportswear. On the days that you're demotivated, you can buy a nice, a shirt for yourself to go for that run, or a nice pair of shoes will get you in the mood for the next month. But we didn't have any such thing. I mean, even swimsuit, I remember our coach used to, ask somebody to get who used to travel to America, or, and then we used to buy those swimsuits, and feel very happy. Like Speedo was so rare, Speedo goggles today, I mean, you can buy anywhere in any sports shop. But in that era, so it was very different. I mean, I was even speaking to Rudrakshi about, how knowledge was lacking. Like in today in Smit.fit, we are really looking at a holistic approach, mix of yoga, mix of cardio, and, cross training, isometric. But in that era, it was like a donkey kind of, we just sprinted for 4 hours a day. We kept swimming 4, 5 hours a day. We burnt ourselves out. The knowledge wasn't there. Today, the knowledge is there, motivation. And I think, how old is Ashish?
I'm 71 born. So
71. So
I
you're
can
older than
relate
me.
to whatever you're saying. I can relate everything.
Yeah. So today, I mean, Ashish, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, I also did a lot of running. I used to run, half marathons, never full. But, and I mean, it's fantastic, the kind of community building that there is. I mean, we've got, I stay at Shivaji Park in Bombay. So, we've got sliders, we've got people who, they're running groups. There must be at least 4 or 5 running groups in Shivaji Park itself.
Correct, correct.
And definitely, much more interesting. I mean, we only felt this kind of community, sport activity when we played water polo. Like you said, basketball. Water polo was where, we really felt like, oh, team, we motivated each other. But these individual sport journeys were very lonely. So if you were, doing 100 meters breaststroke or freestyle, or, you doing pure swimming, then it was a very lonely journey of practice, dedication, pure pain. I mean, really pain. And, so I always looked at the other side and said, hey, my parents didn't allow me to play water polo. They were very keen on me, taking up only swimming. So, that life was always greener on the other side, with regard to team sport. So, Kaustubh, today it's a different scene. I mean, you'll see.
Amol sir, you also spoke about how temperament is, the temperament that you earn, out of being a sportsman also helps you in life. So you have a goal set and you have to walk towards it. So you said that winning is also very important. So Ashish sir, of course, said that in a race, like in running, in terms of the event, so everybody who crosses the finishing line is the winner. So that's great. It's a win for everybody, and that's a great way to look at it. But Amol sir, you also mentioned that in life also sometimes you need to set a goal and really walk towards it and finish it. So not give it up, somewhere in the middle, but finish it. And that is what sports has taught you. So being a national
Yeah.
level swimmer yourself, how do you look at this? How do you look at even Smit.fit? How do you look at that as achieving your goals or taking you towards the goals that you have set?
So I think one of the things that was inculcated right from the beginning. I mean, even my parents set me on that track, was that no pain, no gain. So I remember swimming with the bruised body parts. I would fall in school, but I would go for the competition and get at it. So it was basically winning at kind of any cost. Try to win at any cost. We weren't there for a casual swim or just to keep fit. No, we were there to win. Fitness was a part of it. But our coach, I had a Pasi coach, Percy Hakim. So I'm at Mahatma Gandhi. Like I said, Milind Soman was 10 years senior to me. He was also from Mahatma Gandhi. He's also stayed at Shivaji Park. And at that time, what has happened is that continuously competing in your early life, and it gives you a sort of tenacity, which is required sort of discipline. So it is very easy. Like my wife always says that, oh, how come you gain and lose weight so fast? You know, if I'm a slob for a week and I put on some amount of pounds, I can lose it in a week because my body is you know tuned to that. It's tuned to shedding weight quickly. Also extreme pain. So I can run really. I mean, I avoid because I don't want injuries, but I can run with great pain. I can. So this is what swimming as early sports teaches you, and that it carries on in your life. So you don't give up easily when there is competition in I'm a architect. So we have to compete with many architects for prestigious projects. Sometimes it's very cut to cut fees. It's very tough, but that mentality of not giving up. Right now, our offices are shut. We are all working from home, but we won almost 2 or 3 hotel projects by just sticking to the job day in day out, not letting the situation get the better of you. And that is something that sports has taught me. I think I'm very thankful to having a early background in sport, because it has led to me being competitive. And also I don't give up very easily. So I think sports really trains your mind. I think Ashish also said that to discipline yourself. You get up at a certain time. It's very easy for you to fall into a regime when a sportsman. Your body tells you. My coach always used to tell me, Amol, don't say no sugar, no salt, no nothing. When your body asks for salt, give it some salt. Learn to read your body signals. And there are these things today. I mean, there's a lot of knowledge. I mean, we didn't know half of this stuff that is there in Smit.fit today. It has enlightened me. And then I look back and I say, oh, you know what? Maybe if I had done this, I wouldn't have burnt out so early. You know, because after 5 years, I just couldn't swim. I mean, my shins used to hurt like anything. I couldn't keep up with the younger lot. So this wouldn't happen, say, if you did a little bit of yoga at that time. This was just wasn't there as a part of mainstream sport. So so I think lots has changed. It's become interesting. Communities have happened. It is fun to do sports together. Otherwise, it can be a very lonely and painful journey. So if you have somebody doing it with you, you have a partner. I had a chat with Sujit once. It's nice to go play tennis with someone. It's nice to even go play golf with someone. It helps. We are doing exercises together. It certainly helps. So that's how it is. I mean, I would suggest that even parents, they should put their children. I mean, get their children interested in sports at a early age. Not ignore sports. Puts in discipline. Improves your health. So that's how it is.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Amol sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Ashish, this is Kedar here. I think what you rightly said, तुम्ही झपाटलेले पाहिजे. You have to have an obsession if you want to take up something. And I do agree with Ashish to some extent. I think, not having all those kinds of things that are present today and probably blame them, that era, I don't think it's right.
Yes, what you say, sir?
The reason why I'm saying this is when I was in probably 10th or 11th standard to be precise, if I'm not mistaken. 5 friends, we walked from Mumbai to Pune. It took us 3.5 days. We were just 15 years old. But keda hota डोक्यात.
Absolutely.
To do something different. So unless you have that kida into you, it is not possible. Probably Ashish, on the lighter note, you're not married. आमची बायको म्हणाली येडा का काय कुठे काय मूर्खासारखं चालू. So I think you have a partner who will say that, okay, good yaar, you stay off my hair. Good, walk from Mumbai to Pasgani or Pune to Pasgani. I think that obsession gets you where you want to be. In this example that you gave, ki 15 दिवस में डाव्या हाताने brush करून बघितलं. I think it's something, so small steps, baby steps, I think will get you there. The moment you see that the baby steps have helped you achieve what you had thought of doing, actually set bigger goals step by step.
Absolutely. You said it, Mr. Kedar. What happens is, what Amol was saying, I feel, we must utilize the resources what we have. 20 years back, the situation was different. And whatever we had that time, we must utilize them then. And that is past now. It is gone. 25 years of age, whatever, when I was 25, that's gone. I can't do anything about it. Whatever was available that time, probably I've used it. I played basketball. You walked from Bombay to Pune, which is fun. That time it was simply amazing. He did swimming at a national level. And he rightly said, we never had anything about carbohydrates, kya hota hai, protein, kya hota hai. We never had those things. मालूम ही नहीं था कुछ. What I think was कि just be on the ground. पडीक राहायचं. मराठीमध्ये it says पडीक राहायचं. So used to be पडीक because we never had these other options also. But that is past. I enjoyed that. Now today what I can do is more important. So I always believe, today if it is possible and everybody has a dream. At this age, if I have lost something which I was not in a position to do it that time, yes, I can do it now. I must try and take a step towards it. Believe me, it is possible. He said about parents, I always say to parents, like the young parents, most of the time, the parent wants to achieve their dreams through their children. Most of the time. And I feel, because you are young enough to achieve your dreams, you must chase your dreams, go for it. The moment the child sees the parent is chasing his dream, has a discipline, he's doing something on a consistent basis. Everything is easy. If you do it every day, again and again and again, it is possible for everybody. We just have to do it again. And if that child sees that, he's going to do the same thing. He doesn't have to be told, ki, you must do this, you must do that. It is not required. It just happens. So I always feel whatever we have, the resources what we have, we must utilize them now. Whatever I have, instead of running behind what I don't have. It is very important.
And I also seen the younger parents, I mean, they push their children beyond the point. So at times, what you rightly said, इतकं त्याच्या ओरावर बसतात की the child at times loses interest in whatever sport he's doing. Because the parents, beyond the point, they try to they become a nag. So it is also necessary that मुलांच्या कलानी पण घ्यायला पाहिजे to some extent is what, because I've seen children give up. I know someone, his wife used to press the child so much, excellent skating skills. But a stage came when the child said, "Mala Baba करायचंच नाही." So win, forget win. Are you enjoying?
You're enjoying. Journey is always
Win
important.
or not is a separate thing, because the child will, beyond the point, she just lost interest in skating. And just
Basically because of the pressure. And
yes,
the children are so fantastic now. They're so sharp. They know what they want to do. They are very focused about things. So, if they get a good direction and parents are giving good support, they're earning good amount of money. So it's a fantastic situation for kids. And if there's a proper direction, they can do wonders. And the kids are doing really well. Like I've seen
Yes.
so many parents putting their children into sports. Kids are performing well. And it is just going well. It is simply amazing now. The generation is just going to a good level. There are a lot of bad things happening, but I always look at positive things. So there are so many good things happening. I'm just happy to see that.
No, and what you mentioned about us ourselves committing to an activity and being goal oriented, I think is the right way and the best way to be a role model for anybody, not just your children, but anybody in the house, maybe your friends.
Absolutely.
Once they see you doing something that consistently and driven, you're going to bring that positive change to everybody that you're connected with in terms of making those changes.
Yeah, you have to be a role model for yourself. Instead of you have 10 role models, you must have a role model for yourself. Like, boss, I love myself because I do so many activities because I know what I want to do. I love myself. So I want to do so many things for myself. Kaustubh, एक sentence जर का काढलं ना डिक्शनरी मधनं की आता माझं वय झालं. If you remove this sentence, a lot of things will change. It happens only because of we always talk about this sentence. अरे वय झालं आता ते पूर्वी जमलं असतं तर केलं असतं, आता नाही जमत. Everything is possible for everybody, but we don't have to compare ourselves to anybody else. It is not possible for his limit, his happiness. He must go for it.
Right. So on that note, my question is, what's next then? After all these events and runs and cycles, what do you have planned for yourselves next then?
There are a lot of things, Kaustubh, looking forward to. I did a lot of challenges last year when the lockdown started. I followed Modi ji. He said not to go out, so I didn't go out anywhere. I was at home following all the rules and regulations, but I did a lot of challenges, 21-day can challenges, whatever. There were plenty of challenges. This year, actually, this 17th of April, I was supposed to start my Guinness World Record. It was an attempt. Like Amol asked me about my age, and Mr. Kedar said about the bachelorism. Usually at the interview, I always talk about my age at the end. Otherwise people think that 555 is very easy. For a bachelor, it is very easy to do 555. So I always talk about the age at the end. But I'm celebrating my 50th year. I want to celebrate in style. The idea was to do 50 marathons, 50 days. I'm doing 50 forts. I'm doing 50. Planting 50 trees. There are a lot of things what I'm doing, but 50 marathons, 50 days. The punchline for this year is Die to Live. Okay, so Die to Live is 50 marathons, 50 days. So when I was planning for this, I realized that there's a Guinness World Record of 60 days. The record is 59 days. So we said, let's attempt 60 marathons, 60 days. It was supposed to start on 17th of April, which we had to postpone it because of the situation right now. Not a very correct situation. So whenever we have a better situation where we can get people together, I want to celebrate all my activities, all my different groups, what I've done in 50 years. I'm going to celebrate those 60 days and enjoy those 60 marathons in 60 days. That's the immediate target. There are plenty of other goals, but immediate target is this.
That's a superb way to bring in your 50th.
I want all the Smit.fit members. I'd like to invite all the Smit.fit members also to be there when it is Ready,
Let
I
us
will
know.
talk to
Just
the
let
director
us know.
about that.
Let us know. We may,
at least one marathon day of yours, we shall be there with you to celebrate.
yes, and we are
Absolutely.
much younger than you. We are all 16.
Great, great. So I'm
So
looking
we'll
forward
be
to all
there.
50 days
So we'll
people
be
to
there.
get
Thank God, Priya ma'am.
Yes.
Love that.
Yes, of
love that.
course.
They're all 16 and I've just taken birth yesterday.
She's the baby.
No,
great.
no, on a serious note, yes, we would love to do something.
Yes, yes, I'm looking forward to
Whatever.
everybody to take different challenges for 60 days. You know, whatever we do with 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers, but we do that for 60 days. So it's going to be lovely.
Sure.
All right. If does anybody else have any questions for Ashish?
I have a question. See, a lot of things are spoken about oxygen these days. So when you were talking about heights and the 555 and all, of course, it's not your everyday altitude, right? So did you or anybody ever fall short of oxygen? How does the oxygen management happen at that altitude?
It's an important question because, you know, sitting in Pune, you can't practice for this. We are at sea level, and then we are usually people practices at Manali and then they do events sea level. I practice here and then I do my event in the ultra. So that's a different story again. But what I do is here you can't do anything about getting acclimatization. So I usually go 25 days prior and I go via Manali. So Manali to Leh, I do it by road. So we hire a vehicle and Manali to Leh is about 450 kilometers. So I do that in 6 to 7 days. So we do a little bit of walk, a little bit of run in between, spend some time at the passes, and then I reach Leh. So when I reach Leh, I'm fully acclimatized. So it is all about acclimatization, how well acclimatized you are for that event. So I'm there 1 month prior. I spend a lot of time in Leh. I become wet when I arrive in Leh. Follow all the rituals of high altitude. Drink a lot of water, spend time outside. Well, there are plenty of things which we need to follow. Nature is God. You can't go beyond nature. So, you know, there's a beautiful saying, you know, mountains, they don't allow you to cross. You don't cross mountains. They allow you to cross them. You know, you follow that ritual. And I talk to mountains there. So that's another thing. Now Ladakh has adopted me already. So I am there. So acclimatization plays a very, very important role. So I can't do anything here, but I go there 30 days prior and get acclimatized. There are a lot of athletes who are DNF. DNFs did not finish. It's only because of altitude, and it can be really dangerous because at these kind of large ultra races, small thing doesn't happen. Like, you know, you don't get leg sprain or small things doesn't happen. What happens is you have hypothermia, hypoxemia. That all those things can happen, and you can die. So you have to be very particular with when you're running at the ultra.
Thank you. Thanks.
So,
Anybody else? I think everyone's still processing all of Ashish's crazy funda plans and numbers here.
I am
Ashish, do you
nostalgic.
swim? Do you swim, Ashish?
that's a difficult question. I don't swim. That's the point which is pending now. That will happen soon because, you know, I decided to learn swimming when I was doing 111. I do go to a swimming pool. I'm a part of a swimming tank. I'm a part of a swimming group also, but I don't swim
Tears
on a
tank,
regular
is it?
basis. No, ILS locally.
Acha.
Locally. So Valavalkar sir is our coach. I do a lot of exercise, deep water
Yeah, I
exercise
know.
for Valavalkar sir, you know him.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of deep water exercises for my recovery and for stretching, but I don't swim as such. Like if you
I
throw me in
know
the
all
water,
the
then
Pune guys, all the Karandikar brothers and all, you know,
okay,
from
okay,
Deccan Gymkhana. We used to play water polo against them, no?
okay, great, great. So Jay
Mahatma
Apte
Gandhi
and
versus,
Amol,
Apte's.
incidentally, I was also on the team of Ruparel College because I was in the team of water polo as well as 100x4 relays and breaststroke. But of course, after I joined C, this was way back I'm talking about 1976, 77. So Guruji and all were my seniors.
Guruji, I know. Guruji,
Yeah, so
my
he
father
was
was
in
also a swimmer.
TNMC and
So what
Shenoy
Ashish
was there.
said,
Shenoy.
what Ashish said, Taranath. What Ashish said was very right because I went to swimming after seeing my father. So my father was also a national level swimmer. So from Mahatma Gandhi. So there was always that motivation. Percy was his coach also. Percy was my coach. Percy's son and I used to compete together.
Right.
But you must have swum at Mahatma Gandhi only, no?
Yeah.
Mahatma Gandhi.
I stayed in Hindu Colony, so MJMO was right
Which Hindu colony where?
on main road, Bank of Maharashtra. Anyway, we will connect.
Okay. Okay.
Amol, what I was saying is, you got into swimming because you've been going to swimming pool so often, so got the
Yeah.
for swimming. It usually happens, but I always feel, focus. Like you've seen your father, his dedication. Similar way, I'm a runner, so I will talk about running. But I feel, the children will look at that dedication, and they can do
Yeah.
whatever they like to do. They can, he can be
Correct.
whatever their passion. So it will be lovely.
No, but it's the
Okay.
same thing with profession. Ashish, today, if I am an architect, I may have a very big practice or a small practice. You can't force your son to say that you should become an
Absolutely.
architect.
Correct.
Sometimes I feel that, oh, maybe my father is also architect. He's 76. But,
Correct.
sometimes I feel, maybe I shouldn't have gone for architecture. But
Mhm.
but at that time, it used to be like, अरे तू सुद्धा office कोण चालवणार, हे कोण
Oh.
करणार,
It becomes easy.
झाला
Yeah.
पाहिजे.
Correct.
It is like that. But today it's not the same. Today,
Right.
many children say, you know what, I don't want to do, I want to do. My sister is in an ad industry professional. My grandfather was an ad industry professional. So my sister, is an ad industry professional. She said, I hate architecture. I don't want to do. I like design. I will go into the advertising field. So it is, you can't force children.
Right.
See,
Right.
my son,
Absolutely.
I don't expect that he will do swimming. But if you give him a taste of everything, I try to take him to play golf. Try to take him for a little run. He does a
Wow.
little bit of yoga with me in the morning with Smit.fit. So you have to learn to recognize the signs. I tell my
Absolutely. Wow.
wife, we need to recognize the signs. What is he, liking? Then
Correct.
only, we can decide where we should concentrate on, what resources we should concentrate on. Otherwise, lot of parents, क्रिकेट क्लास झाला त्यानंतर टेनिस क्लासला घेऊन जा, टेनिस क्लास झाला की गाण्याच्या क्लासला न्या, मग गिटार वाजवतो, मग हे करतो. So, then there is a muddle. So you identify what your own child is good at. Is he good at music? Is he a sportsman? He may not be a good sportsman. He may just be, a fitness person. He may, you just like to go out for a run and come back. Competition is different. Not everybody is, built for competition. And not everybody should get into it. I mean, I have seen many of my friends crack under pressure, revolt against
Yeah.
parents,
Correct.
leave colleges. I mean, I have a friend who was, I won't take names, but he went to the Asian Games. He stood first in my school, ICSE. He stood first in, this thing, Ruparel, science. He got 302 or 3 out of, PCB. He went
Wow.
to, GS Medical. Okay. Into his this thing continuously, trying to coach him, continuously trying to monitor. And I remember whenever he would go to Asian Games or wherever, his mother would sit in the car and write homework for him. All that kind of stuff. After a point, the children totally break down. Luckily, we never went to that level. Our parents, when we came home tired, our parents said, "ठीक है, करू नको अभ्यास, राहू दे. दमलायस ना झोप." It was never की आता तू अभ्यास करून क्लास मध्ये फर्स्ट आला पाहिजे. If I came 10th or 11th, I was okay. My parents were okay. If I came 15th or 16th, also they were okay, as long as I passed.
Mhm.
So parents also need to decide key what is the stage that one needs to, push the child in a particular direction, sport, education, whatever it is, gently give them a shift, but it's interesting, nice talk, nice to hear your journey. It motivates, ex-sportsmen like us also to take on new things, For a long time, I was at a mental block की नाही स्विमिंग सोडून दुसरं काही करायचं नाही. वॉटर पोलोच खेळूया, हेच करूया, तेच करूया. And, I also started taking up running. I enjoyed running, in fact. I used to run 10, 12 kilometers, one stretch at least in a week, daily 5 kilometers, but, 12 or 15 kilometers from my house to Haji Ali and back, my house to CCI, Brabant Stadium, and then come back by taxi. So, running is very exciting. You can, look at so many things as you run along,
Right.
So I think it's the most popular sport today. Would you say that?
Yes, absolutely. Running has become very popular, but
Yeah.
it is not into culture as yet. Culture will take time because any event which is organized, we always have runners there. It will get into the culture only when we have a lot of people cheering them. Of course, the scenario is different in Mumbai because Mumbai has plenty of energy. Like I've seen Mumbai Marathon is such a fantastic affair. The amount of people which comes on the road and then they cheer you, right from young kids to senior members, it is lovely. So those situations should happen across India now. It will happen slowly. People are
Ashish
participating
sir
more.
and Amol
Just a
sir,
matter of time.
hearing you two talk about running and even Kedar sir participating in the activity part. So I'm just waiting for the lockdown to end, and maybe somehow all of us together should get out and do some activity, not virtually but really. So we would
Well,
love for
Sujit has promised that.
Rudrakshi,
Sujit,
we are waiting for the Baner Hills thing to happen. To begin with, we can do the Baner Hills, which is
yeah.
So the only thing we all should say is Corona jao, jaldi
yeah.
It should
I'm
I
be
there
think,
on Baner Hill. Baner Hill is my favorite hill, which is right in front of my house. So I'm there on
Oh wow.
Baner Hill on Friday.
Wow, I'm also a Banerite.
Oh,
I'm
great.
right there.
right, so then I think we should now, since it's time, log off and catch up on Bani Hill next.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry,
Please
we've
come over.
run over time, but thank you, Ashish, so much for
Thank you, all of you.
Thank you so
giving
much.
us your
Thank you. Thank you, Ashish.
thank
Thanks.
you. Bye.
Thanks,
See you.
Ashish.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. See you. Bye.
Bye. Thank
thanks
you.
everybody for being
Bye
here.
bye. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.
Bye.